Man, it's great to be back in Wisconsin again. Hey, Wisconsin, how does it feel to win? Even better, how does it feel to win twice? I think we had a recount, and then after we spent all kinds of money and went through the process, Donald Trump picked up even more votes than when he started. Well, you have to admit now, the only thing you all know how to do in Wisconsin for the Republican Party and conservative candidates is win. That's all you do is win. Now we got to make sure the Packers keep winning, right? So that we can get back to the Super Bowl. Well, you have a lot to be proud of. You've got a great organization here, the Trump campaign, the Republican Party, everyone together. The reason it worked was that we were a team, everybody, and Brad Courtney and Pete Meacham, Sean Duffy's organization, the entire team did something that was so special. And it couldn't have happened without everyone here. I want to thank you. I want to thank the people of Wisconsin for once again, as you've been doing year after year after year with that great governor, Scott Walker, is win. But pave the way to the future. It started here in Wisconsin. It started with that Walker Revolution, with that huge victory, and Act 10, prevailing wage, all the things that Scott got done with Republicans in the legislature, paving the light of freedom for the rest of the country. And that night, when the exit polls came out and we weren't sure how things were going to go, it was Wisconsin that brought it home for the United States of America. And it was the battle for freedom that was won once again in the Badger State. And you did it. And when President-elect Trump walked up to that stage, he talked about the future of this country and the kind of president that he would be. That he would be a president for all Americans, no matter who you are, where you come from, what's your gender, your race, your background, it didn't matter. Donald Trump was you, and together we're going to make America great again. And don't forget the things that he promised: a strong America, tax reform, repeal and replace Obamacare, repeal those executive orders, begin the process of eliminating and defeating ISIS once and for all across the world, securing our southern border once and for all, you all did it. You did it here in Wisconsin, once again, paving the way for America. We're so proud to be from this awesome state. We're so proud to have all of the battles that we've fought together and won year after year after year. And we're proud, and I'm proud, to introduce the person that helped launch this revolution, one of the greatest governors in the state of Wisconsin, our governor and my governor, the man we're so proud of. Please welcome Governor Scott Walker.
Good evening. Hey, thanks, Dave. I love that flag over there. Thanks, Dave Zine. You know, freedom, endowed by our Creator, defined by our Constitution, for these United States. It's all our veterans here tonight. I was just in Afghanistan last week speaking to our troops there and in Kuwait, United Arab Emirates, and Germany, and I got to tell you, one of the best news for them, particularly in that hot spot in Afghanistan, don't let anybody fool you, it is still a difficult place for our men and women in uniform, but one of the greatest pieces of news when they heard that our next president was nominating General Jim Mattis to be the next Secretary of Defense. They were pumped up because they knew this was a leader who was going to make decisions based on security and military and not political decisions. That's why we needed a new president and a new vice president who are going to lead this country forward, and that's one of the best decisions they've made thus far. And I want to tell you, what a great crowd. We came in. I know there's still people coming in, but once again, Wisconsin led the way this last November. Thank you to all of you here. Think about it. I look around this crowd and I think back 6 years ago, you helped us transform this state. In November of 2010, you sent us as a new governor. You helped elect a new lieutenant governor. You elected Ron Johnson and Sean Duffy and new majorities in the Assembly and the Senate. And then a week later, we said it's put up or shut up time, and we delivered on our promises. You helped us do that. In fact, you helped us deliver on those promises so well, we didn't just win in 2010. We won again in 2012, but we won again in 2014, not just in the recall and the re-elect, but in the state assembly and the state senate. Those common sense conservative reforms worked so well, we added seats in 12 and in 14, and again last month in 2016 to one of the largest levels of Republican majorities we've had in our state's history. And we did it because common sense conservative reforms work. In fact, today, if you're getting your property tax bills, be thankful that a median valued home in this state is you're paying on average $116 less than you would have 6 years ago before we took charge. And now we have an incredible opportunity, thanks to the voters in this state, by sending a new president and vice president along with a House and a Senate to take some of that common sense conservative reforms from Wisconsin and apply it to Washington, where they desperately need more common sense. You know, think about this. For the first time since Paul Ryan and Reince Priebus and I, which, by the way, people ask us, what happened? We all grew up in South Central Wisconsin. Paul was in Janesville. I was in Delavan. Reince was just outside of Kenosha. They say, what was in the water? I tell them it was beer. It wasn't water, it was beer. But you think about that. For the first time since Reince and Paul and I were in school, Wisconsin went Republican for president for the first time since 1984. You helped change America. And we didn't just win the hearts and minds of the voters, we even won the next generation. My son Alex here tonight is the chair of the College Republicans for the state, and 18 to 24-year-olds went, majority of them, or the plurality of them, we won for Trump and Pence and for Ron Johnson for the United States Senate. Now, with your help, we elect Trump and Pence as our next president and vice president of the United States. We sent Ron Johnson back to the United States Senate. We elected Mike Gallagher to the Congress in the Northeast for the first time. We sent back great people like Sean Duffy to the Congress, along with Glenn Grothman and Jim Sensenbrenner and the rest of the team to do the job. And then you're going to hear in a moment from the man who's going to help in the Congress lead the way so that this president and vice president can work together with the House Republicans, Senate Republicans, and make things happen in this country. I'm excited about the possibility because I know with tax reform, with national security, securing our border, reforming our government, putting the power back in the hands of the people in the states, and more important, in the hands of each and every one of you. That's going to happen because we've got a team in Washington that shares the kind of common sense reforms we've enacted here in this state. And one of the key people who's going to make that happen is our next speaker, the Speaker of the House, my friend, your friend from Janesville, Wisconsin, Paul Ryan.
Hey, Wisconsin, how about it, huh? Oh my gosh. Is this not so cool? Is this not incredible? It was before I had my driver's license the last time Wisconsin went Republican. This is amazing. Here's what I want you to know. Because of the hard work of the people in this room, you are helping us get this country back on track. I want to thank Donald Trump. I want to thank Mike Pence for helping Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, the Midwest finally see the light of the day and put a Republican back in the White House. I also want to thank you for sending us Ron Johnson back to the United States Senate. Ron Johnson's here with us tonight. We have got so much work to do, and I got to tell you something. The last 8 years, they have not been fun or pleasant years in Washington. The last 8 years with Barack Obama have been years of divided government. And that is why we're so excited about having 4 years of a unified Republican government to rebuild our military, to reform our tax code, to clean up the regulations, to repeal and replace Obamacare, and to get people working in this country again. That's why we're here. That's why we're so thankful. Join me in saying thanks and in welcoming a man from the heart of the conservative movement, a man from the heartland itself, a person we're going to be so proud in just about a month to call our Vice President of the United States. Join me in welcoming the next Vice President of the United States, Mike Pence.
Hello, Wisconsin. I'm Mike Pence. I'm from Indiana. And because of your support, your hard work, and your prayers, 37 days from today, I am deeply humbled to say it will be my honor to raise my right hand and take the oath of office to serve as Vice President of the United States of America. I came here tonight on behalf of my little family, first just to say thank you. Thank you for the honor to serve. But mostly I'm here tonight as a fellow American to say thanks to the people of Wisconsin. Thank you for voting to make America great again on November the 8th. Thank you, Wisconsin, for doing your part to make Donald Trump the 45th President of the United States of America. He did it. And we have all of you to thank. Thanks to you, America will finally have a president who will rebuild our military, restore the arsenal of democracy, provide our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guard with the resources and training they need to accomplish their mission, and we will have a commander-in-chief who will hunt down and destroy ISIS at its source. Thanks to you. Thanks to you. Thanks to you, we'll have a president who will stand with the men and women who serve in law enforcement across this nation at every level. We will provide them the resources and the tools to protect our families and go home safe to theirs, and we will have a president who will not rest until we restore law and order to every city and every community in this land. And thanks to you. Thanks to you, we will have a president who will fight every day to make the American economy great again. In just 37 days, we'll have a president who will repeal Obamacare lock, stock, and barrel and replace it with free market solutions to health care reform. We'll have a president who will cut taxes, roll back excessive regulations, and repeal every single unconstitutional executive order signed by Barack Obama. And thanks to you. Thanks to you, we'll have a president who'll put American workers and American jobs first. We'll have trade deals that work for the American people first, and we'll fight every day to make sure that trade means jobs, but trade means American jobs. And thanks to you. And thanks to you, we're going to at last have a president who will enforce the laws of this nation for the citizens of this nation. We will build a wall, uphold our laws, and end illegal immigration once and for all. And thanks to you. And thanks to you, we're going to have a government as good as our people again. We're going to have a government in Washington, D.C. that works every day for the people of this country and not the special interests. We're going to have a president who works with the Congress to reform our ethics laws, and we're going to drain the swamp. And lastly, and thanks to you, we're going to have a president of the United States who will make appointments to the highest court in the land. They will uphold the sanctity of life, our Second Amendment, and all the God-given liberties enshrined in the Constitution of the United States. Thanks to you. So I'm really here to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for giving America a new president. Thank you for giving America a new president whose strength, whose vision, whose leadership will make America great again faster than you could possibly imagine. So I say with a grateful heart that it is my high honor and distinct privilege to introduce to all of you across the great state of Wisconsin the President-elect of the United States of America, Donald Trump.
Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the...
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. So when I started 18 months ago, I told my first crowd in Wisconsin that we're going to come back here someday and we are going to say Merry Christmas again. Merry Christmas. So Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy New Year, but Merry Christmas. And I'm here today for one main reason, to say thank you to the people of Wisconsin. Incredible people. And you know, a wonderful thing, because now after millions and millions of dollars were wasted and countless hours were spent, the recount vote has come back. You know, I called it a scam, but I won't say that because we want to be nice, okay? So I refuse to say it was a scam tonight, all right? This way they can't report that I said it. And after all of this money was spent by the Democrats, believe me, they were behind it, okay? And the Green Party, wonderful party. She got less than 1%, but she thought she was going to catch us. All that money, all that time, all that effort, we got 131 votes more than we had before. I think it was worth it. Well, they spent $3.5 million, $4 million for 131 votes. That's okay. Tells you how important every single vote in America is, right? We won Wisconsin for the first time since 1984, 32 years ago. You went out and you pounded the pavement, organized your fellow citizens, and propelled to victory a grassroots movement, the likes of which the world has never seen before. Now, all over the world they're talking about this, and they're now comparing what is happening in other places, faraway places, with what happened here. So, and Brexit now is sort of a small version of what we did. But I predicted Brexit. And when I predicted Brexit, they all said, he doesn't know what he's talking about. And when it happened, they refused to acknowledge that I predicted it, which is standard. I will never forget you, and I will never, ever stop fighting for you, okay? Never. I'm honored to be here tonight with our incredible Wisconsin leadership team. Sheriff David Clark, where are these people? Sheriff Clark. Senator Ron Johnson, come from behind. He came from behind. Governor Scott Walker, where's Scott? Oh, man. He was tough. He was great. He's a great governor. He really is. He's a great person, and he's a great governor. And I went against him for a while, and I want to tell you, he was tough. So now it's going to be your turn very soon. I don't know. You and Pence are going to have to fight it out. I don't know. Thank you, Governor. Appreciate it. Speaker Paul Ryan, I've really come to I've come to appreciate him. Speaker Paul Ryan. Where's Speaker? Where is he? He has been, I'll tell you, he has been terrific. And you know, honestly, he's like a fine wine. Every day goes by, I get to appreciate his genius more and more. Now, if he ever goes against me, I'm not going to say that, okay? He's a great guy, and we have some amazing things in store. And we're going to work on taxes. We're going to work on Obamacare. We're going to work on things, and he's going to lead the way. So thank you. Oh, we're going to work on the wall, Paul. Well, it's true. Somebody said, look at these guys. You think we're playing games, right? Somebody said the other day, well, now that Trump won, he's really not going to build the wall. I said, what are you? We're going to build the wall, okay? Believe me. We're going to build the wall. You have to. Got to stop the drugs from coming in, and the wall's going to be a big, big factor. And I also want to thank a man who is another star from your territories. There's some very good water in this state. Chief of Staff Reince Priebus. Fantastic guy. Fantastic guy. He's done an incredible job. And now he's a superstar. You know, I thought he was a superstar, but you got to win to be a superstar, right? You got to win. I said, Reince, you are a superstar, but we got to win first before I really go crazy. And we won, so now you're the superstar that we said. Together, we're going to Washington. Whoop. Whoop. Are you okay? Can we have a doctor in the house, please? Doctor in the house? Doctor in the house. Okay. Good. We love this lady. Doctor in the house. Thank you. We love this lady. We love everybody. We love everybody. That woman who I've seen before is terrific. Make sure she's perfect. Make sure she's okay. Okay, take your time. Together, we're going to make Washington answer to the people once again. We're going to put the government to work for you, first time in a long time. The whole world is recognizing our movement. It's because of you. And by the way, again, a movement that they've never seen before. They didn't know what hit them. They didn't know what happened. And it's because of you that we, all of us, were just honored with the Time Magazine Person of the Year. And just a little while ago, it was announced that we were also honored with the Financial Times Person of the Year. So that's great. See, in the old days, it was called the Man of the Year, right? Now they call it the... Okay, so let me do this. And we have a lot of women here. I got to do it. Okay, do you mind? Would you prefer... I'll go Person of the Year, then Man of the Year. Person of the Year, Man of the Year. Okay. What should it be? I'm doing this for all of your politicians over here. Not that we're going to change at this point. Would you rather see Person of the Year? Man of the Year. These guys are so politically correct. Now, so far I've done that 3 times, and I'll tell you what, Person of the Year is not doing well. I also want to give a very special thanks to all of our great veterans that are here, service members, military families. By the way, the military and law enforcement, I don't know what our numbers were, but I know they were record-setting highs. So to all of those veterans and service people and law enforcement people, I want to thank you because you are special people, special, special people. Because the fact is that America's men and women in uniform are the finest and bravest the world has ever known. We're going through something very, very difficult in the world and even in our country. The world has ever known. So to all of you who have worn the uniform, I say to you now on behalf of a very grateful nation, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. We're in your debt, and we will never let you down. We will honor your service and sacrifice. And that begins with defending and respecting the American flag. And we don't like seeing people burning our American flag, okay? We don't like it. And we're going to take a look at that, okay, folks? All right? We're going to take a look at that. We'll all take a look at that together. One man who understands the meaning of service is somebody that's become unbelievably popular because he's tough, he's strong, and he doesn't lose. General Mad Dog Mattis, right? He is a popular guy because of his record. You ever hear of somebody named Vince Lombardi? You've never heard of Vince Lombardi. Never. He was popular, too, because he wins. We like people that win. We want to start winning again. Our country's going to start winning again, okay? Would anybody like to keep it the way it is? I don't think. We're going to win. We're going to win. We're going to win a lot. We're going to win so much, you're going to go to Paul Ryan. You're going to go, Mr. Speaker, please, please. We can't stand winning this much. We can't take it. And he's going to come to see me, and he's going to, Mr. President, the people in Wisconsin are tired of winning so much. You're winning with health care. We're winning on the border. We're winning with ISIS, because we are going to get ISIS out. We're winning all over, Mr. President. They just can't take it anymore. I say, Paul, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You have to go back and tell them we're going to keep winning and winning and winning, whether they like it or not. Last week, I formally announced my plans to nominate General Mattis as your new Secretary of Defense. And I believe we're in the process of putting together one of the great cabinets. Certainly a cabinet with the highest IQ that anybody has ever. I mean, these are seriously great people. Did you see today? The president of Goldman Sachs. This is the president of, that's big stuff. And we have General Kelly. We have incredible people. Dr. Ben Carson, great guy. I think it's going to be one of the great cabinets ever. Ever, ever. Leaders and titans of industry, art, sports, science are reaching out and want to find ways to help. I mean, today, as an example, in my office, the great Jim Brown, right? Jim Brown. Bill Gates, Anna Wintour, Kanye, that's right. Right, I like Kanye. Ray Lewis. We've had so many people, they come up and they want to be a part of what we're doing, and we want to use everybody. We want to use all of the brain power because we're going to bring us back. We're going to be not only great, we're going to be greater than ever before. You watch. You watch. And tomorrow, coming up to the office, the true giants of Silicon Valley. We're going to talk about how to grow jobs. We're going to talk about how they can stay on top. We're going to talk about a lot of great things, but the real giants are coming up tomorrow, so it's going to be great. Today I announced my plans to nominate Rex Tillerson, right? The Chief Executive Officer and Chairman of ExxonMobil, to be the next Secretary of State. Rex is one of the greatest and most skilled global business leaders of our time, made some of the greatest deals ever made in the oil industry or any industry. A great diplomat, a strong man, a tough man, a man who's already earned an avalanche of endorsements and growing praise from our nation's top leaders, including Condoleezza Rice, Bob Gates, James Baker, Dick Cheney, Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, and so many more. And people are looking at this resume, and honestly, they've never seen a resume like this before. Rex will be a fierce advocate for America's interests around the world and has the insights and talents necessary to help reverse years of foreign policy blunders and disasters. Blunders and disasters. Very excited about Rex. And you know, Rex is friendly with many of the leaders in the world that we don't get along with. And some people don't like that. They don't want him to be friendly. That's why I'm doing the deal with Rex, because I like what this is all about. And we're going to have somebody that's going to be very special. America has been caught in a cycle of failed interventions that have weakened our security and undermined totally our stability. We've spent $6 trillion in the Middle East. $6 trillion. You know what that is? We could have rebuilt our country 3 times. And yet the situation today is far worse than when we started 15 years ago. Far worse. It's not even a contest. It's a mess. The cost in both dollars and lives has been immense. We need a new direction. We need a new direction. Americans' foreign policy has lacked a clear vision, a clear goal, and a clear understanding of the threats, and the threats are immense. Instead of jumping recklessly from one intervention to another, my administration will build a long-term strategy for stability, prosperity, peace, and rebuilding our own country, folks. We're going to rebuild our country. We need it. That strategy will be guided by our values, our principles, and our patriotism. We will seek goodwill among nations, a strengthening of vital alliances, and the pursuit of shared goals when interests align. And we will not be taken advantage of by other countries. We will not be. No more. No more. We'll get along great with other countries. We will not be taken advantage of. Our goal is not to build new nations in far-off lands that most of you have never even heard of, but to crush ISIS, we have no choice, and to defeat radical Islamic terrorism. My administration, with the help of Paul and Ron and everybody, will also rebuild our badly depleted military and take care of our great veterans the way they should have been taken care of for a long time. We are building up this great military power in the hope that we never have to use it. We believe strongly in peace through strength. Our military is going to be modern and powerful again, believe me. But to be a strong nation, we must also be a rich nation. Doesn't sound so nice. A woman came up to me. She said, "Mr. Trump, I loved your speech, but I don't like when you say rich nation." I said, "Ma'am, you're a fabulous woman. But if we're not going to be a rich nation, we can't rebuild our military. We can't take care of all of the problems we have, including our medical problems. So we're going to be a rich nation." And after I spoke to her for a few minutes, she was okay. She was okay. My administration will be focused on 3 very important words: jobs, jobs, jobs. Whether it's building cars, producing steel, or curing disease, we want the next generation of innovation and production to happen right here in America and right here in Wisconsin, right? First, on taxes. This is where we really need Paul. We're going to undertake one of the great tax reforms and simplifications in American history. This includes a massive tax cut for the middle class and middle-class families from Wisconsin, too. We're also going to lower our business tax rate so that new companies will come to our shores and hire workers in cities like right here. Is that okay? That's what we want. We're going to bring our rates down from 35%. We're going to try and get it down to 15%. So right now, and by the way, the jobs will pour in. So right now, we're the highest taxed nation in the world. And when we finish, we'll be one of the lower tax. One of the lower. On regulations, which is perhaps even more important because our companies are dying and being strangled through regulation. We're going to eliminate all wasteful, job-killing regulations. On energy, we will cancel the restrictions on the production of American energy, including shale, oil, natural gas, and clean, beautiful coal. We're going to put our miners back to work. On infrastructure, I will ask Congress to pass legislation that produces $1 trillion of new investment in America's crumbling infrastructure. And it is crumbling. You know, I have a friend, big guy, one of the biggest in the world, trucking. And he used to buy these beautiful trucks, beautiful, beautiful, the most expensive. And he calls me up recently. He said, I can't buy them anymore because we go from California to New York, and by the time they get to New York or California, if they're going the other way, they're all beat to hell because of the potholes in the highways. I said, was it ever like this? He's been doing this for 45 years. He said, it's never been like this. So we have to fix our infrastructure. We have no choice. And we're going to put our people back to work in the process. It's time to help get Americans off of welfare and back into the labor market. Rebuilding this country with American hands and with American workers. My administration will follow two simple rules. Buy American and hire American, right? We're going to do it. Because from now on, it's going to be America first. America first. I look at some of these deals we make and some of the treaties and some of everything, and I say, I think these people were thinking about the other nations. I honestly do. I say it's impossible for this to happen. Either that or campaign contributions were magnificent with people. But they're so bad, the deals are so bad, so disgraceful, that I actually think they're putting other countries ahead of our own. On trade, we are now, you people don't stop. So I used to say, when I used to hear this chant, let's just win on November 8th. But now we've won, right? We've won. Big league. So anyway, you people, I'll tell you, tough people in Wisconsin, fellas. Right, Governor? Tough? On trade, we're now running a nearly $800 billion annual trade deficit. I say, who makes these deals? Who? Now think of it. I have friends in here that are business people. Who makes these deals? $800 billion. America has lost 1/3 of our manufacturing jobs since NAFTA. We've lost 70,000 factories. Think of it, 70,000. It's like, doesn't even sound like it's possible. And I know it's right because I've said it for the last month and a half, and they never corrected me, so it has to be. Because I mean, it is, look, it is hard to believe. Look, they're very nice. Look at all those cameras. Look at all that live television. Look at that. Who has to do this every night with all those live cameras up? Can you imagine if we made a mistake? Would it be a disaster? See, other people running for office, if they make a mistake. But if I made a mistake, a disaster, right? Look at that. You ever see so many cameras, Mr. Vice President? So, but I have to tell you, they were devastated on November 8th. They were devastated. They were devastated. Should I go over that evening just once quickly? So, it began with phony exit polls. And I got a call from my daughter at about 5 o'clock, and she was called by people in their business. And her husband, Jared, great guy, he was called. And they called me and they said, "I'm sorry, Dad, it looks really bad. Looks really, really bad." I said, "What's the problem? Tell me." Now, I was doing, it's very interesting, because I really assumed I lost. You know, look, I believe that these things are supposed to be correct. So I sort of thought I lost, and I was okay with it. I wouldn't say great. In fact, I called my vice president, and I said, "It's not looking good, right, Mike?" I said, "Not looking good. You were getting the same numbers that I was getting." Of course, you know, a lot of it is phony stuff, too, because they'll say, "Donald Trump is a bad person. Do you agree or not?" So people would say, "Yeah." No, but it's easier. Then they have yes in a big box like that, and they have no, you can't find. So, you know, a lot of it's phony deals going on. But I will tell you, so I got the call, and they said, "Looks bad. Looks really bad." And they want to be nice to me. They're talking this way because they wanted to be nice. They actually thought we might lose strongly. So I said, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Whatever happens, happens." Now, for the last month, I didn't do interviews. All I did was these rallies. I did 3 a day. I did 3 a day. And I'll be honest, I was surprised when I got that call, because I thought, I mean, every time we had a rally, it was, look at this building, they're still pouring in the back. So every place was like this. I mean, except we had major arenas which were packed. And then we'd have 20, 30,000 people outside that couldn't get in. So I said it didn't make sense to me. It didn't make sense, but that's okay. Because, you know, like they say in football and in sports, he left nothing on the table, nothing on the field, all right? So it was okay. Because for the last month, I decided not to do interviews, because they give you interviews and they chop up your sentences and they cut them short. You'll have this beautiful flowing sentence where the back of the sentence reverts to the front, and they'd cut the back of the sentence off, and I'd say, "I never said that." So I said, "You know what? I'm not going to deal. They're very dishonest people." I said, "No." I said, "I'm not going to deal with them." And all I did for 1 month, I do 2 and 3 and sometimes 4 speeches a day, rallies like this, massive crowds, right? And they'd call, "Can we have an interview of Mr. Trump?" I said, "Watch me with the speech. Tell him, watch me. And whatever you want to take, you can take, all right? But watch me with the speech." So we did 3, 4 days. And I'll tell you what, that's tough stuff. So I did 3 a day, a couple of 4s. And I always had in mind the last 2 days and even the last 3. But on the last 3, or the third, I was going to do 5. And then I was going to do 6 and 6. Now, when you do 6 speeches where you have 10, 15, 20, 25, even 30,000 people, that's not so easy, okay? Good stamina, high energy. Do you agree? High energy. High energy. So I did the 3 a day and a lot of speeches. No days off. There was no Sunday off. Although I did go to church whenever possible. I did go to church. But no days off. And then we got down to the last 2, and I did 6 speeches. They know. These guys knew. They were exhausted, the press. And then on the 7th day, which was, you remember, Monday, right? I did 6 speeches. And then I heard that my opponent, does anybody remember my opponent? No? They don't remember. They don't remember. Governor, these people are brutal. Now I know why it's always a bloodbath for you guys, but you win, so that's all. But I heard, so I did 6, right? 6 on Sunday. And then Monday comes along and I did 6. And about 3 hours before the final speech, I'm saying, oh boy, I don't have to, this is it. And this was it. Started 16 months before, coming down the escalator, right? Said a lot of things. We talked about illegal immigration, turned out to be right. We talked about trade, turned out to be right. I said a lot of things. But we did 6 speeches, and then I heard that Hillary was going with her husband and with President Obama, who, by the way, has been very nice, and his wife has been very, very nice. Telling you. They've been very nice, but they were on a plane going to Michigan. And I said, whoa, whoa, and that was not a planned trip. And, you know, they spent $2 billion, so you don't get credit for this. I spent a tiny fraction of what they spent. In the old days, if you spent less money and won, you got credit for it. Nowadays, whoever spends the most money, it doesn't make sense. But we spent a lot less money. We spent a fraction of what they spent. And they had unlimited money, so that meant to me they did a poll. We didn't, because why should I spend a lot of money for a poll, right? When the newspapers give you polls every single day, right? These pollsters. So they spent a lot of money. They found out, obviously, trouble in Michigan because they had an unscheduled trip to Michigan. So they went to Michigan, did not have a good crowd. And I said at 6 o'clock that afternoon, I said, let's go to Michigan. Now, by the time I finished in New Hampshire, it was already like 9:30 or 10 o'clock. I said, let's go to Michigan. And my people said, are you crazy? You just did 6 majors. I said, I don't care. This is the presidency, right? This is the presidency. So we went to Michigan with no notice, with like a tweet. We went up. Now, I do have between Facebook and Twitter and Instagram almost 40 million people, so that's a lot. It's a lot. But with a tweet, so we get there, and it's very late. It's like 12:30. And our vice president-elect was there with me. And we had, at 12:30 in the morning, and I started speaking at 1 o'clock in the morning, we had in Michigan 31,000 people inside and outside. 31,000 showed up. And I said to Mike and I said to everybody, we're going to win Michigan. I'll tell you. Now, it hadn't been won in like 38 years, but we are going to win Michigan. And we ended up winning Michigan. But anyway, so I got the bad news from my daughter. And I said, that's too bad. So I go and see my wife. I said, baby, I'll tell you what. We're not going to win tonight because the polls have come out. And, you know, I always used to believe in those exit polls. I don't believe in them anymore. And it's just looking bad. But you know what? I'm okay with it because of the fact that I couldn't have worked any harder. You can't do any worse than that. I mean, I just couldn't have done it. And if I lose, I lose. And you know what? If I lose, I lose, and I'm going to have a nice, easy life. We can all relax together, right? But, so, you know, I felt, you know, you don't feel good if you didn't put out and you lose. But if you put out every single ounce of energy in your blood, you feel like, okay, there's nothing more you can do. So I told her, and she looked at me, and she's seen these rallies, and she said, you're not going to lose. I said, no, I'm telling you, the polls are looking very big. She goes, you're not going to lose, my wife. So then I figured, hey, look, it's just a nice wife that's trying to be nice. And that's what she is. She is a great person. So what happened? Melania, right? Do we love Melania? Boom, the escalator. They love Melania. She's great. She said you're not going to lose. Okay. So now the polls is closed, and they start announcing numbers. And I say, oh, this is going to be embarrassing. I'm trying to figure out what am I going to do. And I have this ballroom that's not that big because I didn't know if I'm going to win or lose. I know this. If I'm going to lose, I don't want a big ballroom. I'd go up, I'd say, ladies and gentlemen, thanks a lot, my supporters. I love you, folks. I love you. Good night, everybody. Bye. I'm out of there, right? And she had this massive convention center with a big fireworks display. And they were paying about $7 million for the fireworks. And it was a big deal. And they knew they were going to win until the final week. They knew bad things were happening. And I got a good sign when 4 days before the end, I called up Mike. They just canceled the fireworks. It was the front page story. They canceled. Now, usually you cancel fireworks because you don't want fireworks if you're going to lose, right? Did anybody ever use fireworks if they're going to lose? Governor, in the history of elections, if you lose, you don't set off fireworks, right? So they canceled their beautiful Grucci fireworks. And I wanted to be a wise guy, so I offered them 5 cents on the dollar for their fireworks, okay? I did. We never heard back. No, we never heard back. We never heard back. So anyway, but that was a good sign. Do you agree? So anyway. So I figured it's election night. I figured we're going to lose. But, you know, hey, this is so sort of cool. I never did this stuff before. Hey, by the way, did we all do a good job together, right? It's a movement. It's a movement. So then the real numbers started coming. And we started with, like, Ohio. And I was expected to win Ohio by 2 points or 3 points. When I say I'm talking about the two of us and us, all of us. So it comes in. We have breaking news. Donald Trump has won Ohio in a massive number. Right? We won Ohio very close to 10%. So the 2% or 3% was now close to 10%. I said, that's good. Then we have breaking news. Donald Trump has won the great state of Iowa. I said, whoa. And that was supposed to be close. We were up a little bit in the polls, like 1 point. We won it by more than 10 points, right? And I'm saying, this is a little different than these exit polls. What's going on? Because the exit polls had me tied in Ohio. Then they were getting a little bit like, they were surprised by the numbers, right? You know, these people that are standing back there. 2, 3 of them I see. 3 of them. I see 3 of them, and 4 of them I think are hiding in the back. They're in the... So then they go to Florida. And they're doing pretty well in Florida. Unfortunately, they forgot to count our votes. So all of a sudden, they get to areas that we just dominated. And we're sort of tied. And we haven't gotten to the panhandle yet. She loves the I love the panhandle, too. And they told one of the networks they were interviewing, yes, we feel very good about Florida. Florida is going to be ours. And North Carolina will be ours. That's the firewall, North Carolina. Ladies and gentlemen, we have breaking news. Donald Trump has won the state of Florida. Right? Now, they spent 10 to 1 in North Carolina. I love that state. We won South Carolina easily, but North Carolina was supposed to be something that's very hard to win, right? Very, very hard to win. Ladies and gentlemen, we have breaking news. And you see these people, they go like, oh, we go. One of the networks is going, ladies and gentlemen, we have breaking news, Donald Trump. They're like in a state of absolute, like they're getting sick. One of them, they say, broke down and started to cry, but I don't think she did, really. I don't think she did. So they go, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump has won the state of North Carolina. Hey. Now they're going home. Now we're running up the East Coast. I mean, it's like a marathon. It's like, and now we hit Pennsylvania, and they don't want to call it, right? You saw that. They don't want to call it. So we're left with 1%. And if they got 100% of that 1%, they still get killed in Pennsylvania. Now, Pennsylvania was tough because every Republican forever thought they were going to win the great state of Pennsylvania, right? They said, not me, the bride that got away. That's the expression. It's always the bride that got away. Pennsylvania, great state. And I said, we're going to win Pennsylvania, but I keep thinking about every time you see the Republicans are going for 38 years or something, they hadn't won Pennsylvania. So it's one of those states, very, very tough to win. But I just felt so good. We're getting these massive crowds. In fact, we're going there in 2 days to celebrate. Hershey, Pennsylvania. We're going to Hershey. A big crowd. So Pennsylvania, they don't want to call it. They don't want to call it. There's like 1% left, and there's no way they can catch it. And I'm looking, and I'm starting to do interviews now because now I'm thinking, boy, this is fun. This is great. I can't lose Pennsylvania. But they refuse to call it because they're dishonest people, okay? So, it's all right. So then we go up the coast, and then it happened, right? Before Pennsylvania, even though they should have done Pennsylvania at about 11:30 in the evening. Of course, there's two reasons. Number one, they like the commercials because the audience they had that night was massive. The debates, did I win those debates, folks? Right? The debates had a massive, over 100 million people. And by the way, did Mike Pence, did he win his debate? Mike Pence. That wasn't even a contest. In fact, Mike, it actually got boring. That was not even a contest. So then it happened, folks, out of nowhere. Oh, and they got sick they were like, he was throwing up. You know, with the map being, boy, that map was getting red as hell. That map was bleeding red. Florida, South Carolina. And before that, remember, Texas. They said, for 3 months, Texas is in play. Texas, that means we're like even. And Republicans win Texas. Even if you're a lousy candidate, you win Texas. Texas is Republican, and it's great, and the people are great, and I had these massive crowds. And for 3 months, they're saying, Texas is in play, and next week, it is very close. Texas is in play. And Georgia, remember Georgia? Georgia is in play. And I'm saying, man, can you imagine if I lose Texas? Or if I lose Georgia? It's in play. I'm saying to my kids and my wife, Texas is in play. Georgia's in play. This is going to be a disaster. And then they said Utah. I don't think the Republicans ever lost. Have they ever lost Utah? I don't think so. Utah is in play against some guy that I look at him and say, there's no way. My wife looked at him and she said, you're not going to lose to him. Sure. Telling you, she's good at this stuff. I said, yeah, but they say that he's tied with me. And she said, no, he's not tied. You're not going to lose to him. Don't worry about it. So they said, Utah is in play. So now it's like whatever time, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, it goes on. First thing, like about 1 minute, you know, because the numbers were so great. Donald Trump has won the state of Texas. That means it was a slaughter. It was a slaughter. Donald Trump has won the state of Georgia. Donald Trump has won the state of Utah. I love Utah. Utah. And this guy that was put up there to fight me, I mean, he was down. Hillary even beat him, okay? We won Utah by 25 points, something like that. We won Utah by a lot. So all of a sudden I'm saying, wow, but what happened? So now we win all these states, and they're holding Pennsylvania. Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump has won the state of Wisconsin. Right? Donald Trump. So they said Donald Trump has won the state. And I tell you what, I give a lot of credit to that. To your governor, a lot of credit. I give a lot of credit to Paul Ryan. I give a lot of credit. And I give a lot of credit to Vice President Mike Pence, because they stood up here and they campaigned like you never saw before. So that was out of the blue. Now we pick up a state that we weren't really expecting. We knew it was close, but we didn't know that that was going to happen. And then after that, Michigan was announced, and now. And the greatest was when Pennsylvania came in, because that's a big, 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 beautiful state. Donald Trump has won the state of Pennsylvania. And they're going even before Pennsylvania, but they're doing all this red, and that map was so beautiful looking. And I'll never forget the guy who was saying for months, there is no path to 270 for Donald Trump. But there was a path to 306. No path. There was no path to 270. In fact, they couldn't get me up. They couldn't get me up to 270, but they got me to 269. So I kept going back to Maine, one vote. And that's part of the beauty of the electoral system. I have to tell you, I went back to Maine 4 times for one. The beauty is I went to 17 different states. I was going all over. And there is a beauty to it. There's a genius to it. Now, the other would be easier. Just a popular vote would be easier, because I go to New York and California, go to Texas, go to Florida. That's it. And it would be easier. But the Electoral College is genius. It's genius. You go everywhere. And unless you see it, it's a very different way of campaigning. It's sort of like if you play golf. It's match play versus stroke play. You know, it's very different. But unless you see how this works up close and personal. So we ended up winning. And I'll never forget when they were on the map and they put up Wisconsin. And he said, there is no path for Hillary Clinton to become president. Donald Trump is your next president of the United States. Because of you. So I want to thank the people of Wisconsin. You're incredible people. You're incredible people. Really do. And I can tell you this. We are going to work so hard for you. We're going to work so hard. We're going to have the best people in the world. And you see the people we're getting. If you don't mind, we won't be totally politically correct. If you don't mind, okay? Is that all right? All right. We are going to work so hard for you. And we're going to bring back your jobs. And we're going to terminate Obamacare. We're going to come up with a great, great health plan that Paul Ryan is working on right now. And we're going to cut your taxes. And we're going to have strong borders. And we're going to have the wall. We're going to have the wall. We're going to have that wall. And we're going to stop the drugs from pouring into our country. And we're going to build up our military, big league, and we're going to take care of those vets. We're going to take care of them. And we are going to make you, look, here's the bottom line. We are going to make you so proud of your country again. So proud. We are never, ever going to let you down. We are never going to let you down. Believe me, and I'm saying this from the heart, this is me to you. This is not reading anything, no speeches, no nothing. This is me to you. I say it to the heart. You worked in this state, and my people were so incredible in this state, the people that got out the vote, and they said they didn't even have to work to get out the vote. It's so incredible. So we're never going to let you down, Wisconsin. And I just want to tell you, in the truest sense of the words, it's a theme that we started right from the beginning. We're going to make America strong again. We're going to make America powerful again. We're going to make America rich again, wealthy again. We are going to make America great again. So I want to thank you, Wisconsin. God bless you. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. God bless you. Thank you, Wisconsin. Thank you. Thank you.